Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a Hollywoke hot take on YouTube. What? Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Check out my web comics at thewebcomicfactory.com, also at superfrat.com, and check out the books at the Pineys, thepineys.com, amazon.com, books 1 through 10. I will be at the Waterford Public Library in Waterford, New Jersey tomorrow. Actually, it's in Atco, which is the town right next to it. 6:30. That's on Thursday for my talk, How to Hunt the Jersey Devil. Now, let's get into it. First, why am I on YouTube and not on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble today? Well, I had to do a separate video about politics and trying to white pill the GOP bros today. So go see that if you need a little white pill about the election. May talk a little bit about it here, but you know how YouTube is. YouTube is a-hole, so I have to be careful what I say. So I thought, oh well, I'll put Hollywoke hot take. I'll try to edit myself as best I can, YouTube. So with that being said, let's destroy my algorithm for the next couple of weeks. Jeff Cook, co-founder of country band Alabama, dies at 73. He is looking a little pudgy in that picture, isn't he? Not good. Not good. But, I mean, 73, that's a fairly good run. Oh, my God, he had Parkinson's disease. Oh, no, I did not know. And disclosed that 5 years ago. He died Tuesday at his home in Destin, Florida. Wow, that's a shame. That is a shame. I did like Alabama. That's country rock, if you haven't heard. Midwife Conference bans pro-life OBGYNs. Threaten to decertify those who spread abortion disinformation. That seems rather mean. I would disagree with that. Again, I'm not super pro anti-abortion or pro-abortion. I just like normal people. Like, yeah, if you had some sex and you tried to use protection but it failed, or maybe you got drunk and sloppy and you got pregnant, you got yourself pregnant, you didn't know and you forgot to take the morning after pill. Okay, you do that within the first trimester. Most people are okay with that. Most of the world is okay with a 12 to 15 month limit, but after that it becomes gross, in my view. Kind of after that. Sometime after that. Not too long after that. And most people are very much against the, oh, well, yeah, I'm about to have a baby. I changed my mind. Yeah, no. So, I mean, come on. We had a deal here. Oh, but the Democrats needed to run on something. Damn it, I got political. All right. Speaking of which, don't blame Gen Z for voting Democrat. Blame the people who told them to. Yeah. This is what James Lindsay over at New Discourses has been screaming. Got to clean up the schools. Clean up the schools and what they're teaching the kids. Do these kids look like they're getting a good education on this day? They look like they're little revolutionaries. Yeah, and unfortunately we're going to have to deal with these people as adults. So imagine you hire some new kid out of just graduated high school and you give him a bunch of crap work to do because that's what you give to the new guy, and they're like, I shouldn't have to do this. Revolution! Yeah, it's going to be a real problem in the coming years. Mark Zuckerberg announces Meta will lay off 11,000 people. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, look, Facebook, Meta, whatever the hell it is, I haven't enjoyed it in a long time. It's now more of an electronic burden than it is fun. Back in the day, there were games on it. There weren't that many people on it. There were savvy people, like people who were into computers and stuff and used computers, and it wasn't everybody. Now it's everybody. Now everybody's on it, and you've got all their problems and weird quirks, and they're trying to make rules to solve everything. You can't fix these people. You can't. There are just weird people out there. They probably shouldn't be on the internet. They're embarrassing. They're awkward. They're weird. They don't understand how weird they are. They don't want to. They don't want to take any self-reflection. They're insecure. They're messed up. Oh, but they get on the internet, and then suddenly everybody has to get out of their way. So Facebook is unfortunately a facilitator of this. It's kind of not the site's fault. I mean, it's a good site when you think about it, but it's kind of run its course. It's got too many bells and whistles. I can't even operate my Facebook profile now. I literally can't operate it. There's too many choices. A few years ago, I finally got to the point where I could kind of just sort through the people and stop seeing certain things in the feed that I couldn't stand to look at anymore. And now it's down to a feed that I can kind of tolerate. But it's just all too much overwhelming. I don't think Zuckerberg really understands it anymore from a consumer perspective. He's too close to the project. He needs outsiders to really give him solid feedback, and the chances of him getting that and listening to it are like astronomically high. That's what happens when you're this successful. Like, it's nearly impossible, because all the people who want to come to you and tell you what to do, they all got some kind of agenda in mind to make a ton of money from you. Like someone normal like me or you, like, he's not going to really get data from those people, and even so, it's going to be accumulated, not really weighed in your favor, as it should be. Like, what normal person really needs Facebook now? People put family pictures on it, and they make announcements of deaths and operations, and back in the day it was rare, and then somebody who was operated on needed money. Everybody donated. Now it's like everybody's doing it. It's not that kind of site. It doesn't work that way. Everybody can't. Oh, I'm sick. Everybody send me money, or oh, I'm sick. Everybody send me thoughts and prayers, because people's levels of thoughts and prayers, some of them are incredibly low. Oh, I had a bad day today. Send me thoughts and prayers. To all the way, yeah, my parents died. I'm not feeling too great. I may be off for a few days. I mean, that's the huge difference on people on Facebook, right? And then normal people who just don't go on Facebook at all. I mean, there are a bunch of normal people who don't even use this product. You understand? I know that's hard to grasp for people who are constantly on the internet all day, but I get it too. In fact, I was at the event last night at the Moonlit Market, and I don't know how it came up, but during a conversation I was having with some people, they were just like, yeah, I'm not on Facebook. They were older, don't get me wrong. They were older, and they're not really internet people. They were complaining about the advertisement, and yeah, it was put on Facebook and social media. I think it was just put on Facebook, maybe not the alt social media. And they were like, well, what about the newspaper? And there were a lot of people in this group that you still read newspapers. And there is some utility in that. Especially like free local papers, that kind of thing. You walk into a mini mart on your way to get your morning coffee, you might get the local paper and sort of just flip through it on your way to work or whatever. So, I mean, Facebook is it's too much. It's too much. And now there's so many other competitors. And now to take out a lot of these bells and whistles that really are holding back the site would also be a down. It's like a lose-lose situation. If they had stayed out of censorship, they might have lasted longer, might have helped the site, I think. But now it's just not cool anymore. So, I don't know. It's just slowly being ground down, I think. My opinion. Well, everything's my opinion on this, by the way. Snoop Dogg to produce a biopic about his life. I waited a long time to put this project together. Okay. I mean, yeah, we're not getting enough Snoop Dogg in our lives, right? I mean, he's only out there advertising like Tupperware with Martha Stewart. Yeah, I'm not seeing him enough. He's on every TV show and every possible thing. Yeah, I'm not getting enough Snoop Dogg. I really need to see more. I really need to see his entire life story now. Okay, dude. Whatever. Elon Musk seeks to reassure skeptical Twitter advisors. I understand if people want to give it a minute. Sure. He's being very reasonable and trying to make the site better, and yet everybody's coming down on him. Meanwhile, like, I don't know, I think Facebook's on fire, metaphorically, and nobody's saying anything to Mark Zuckerberg. Nobody's saying, my God, you're destroying the site. Meanwhile, they're saying that to Elon Musk. I think that's politically motivated. Elon Musk kills Twitter new feature hours after launch, promises lots of done things in the immediate future. I mean, yeah, he's trying things, seeing if they work. But speaking of political payback, Biden calls for federal investigation of Elon Musk over relationships with other countries. Gee, I guess this isn't politically motivated after he endorsed Republicans in a blanket statement on Twitter. No, I'm just sure this old doddering mummy is just very concerned about social media and knows it very well. Warren Beatty, speaking of doddering and old and mummies, accused of coercing sex from a minor in new lawsuit. Warren Beatty was not named specifically in the lawsuit, but defendant Doe was described as an actor who played Clyde in Bonnie and Clyde. There's still been quite a few Bonnie and Clyde movies. Christina Charlotte Hirsch filed the lawsuit obtained by Fox News Digital. Defendant Doe as the actor who portrayed Clyde in Bonnie and Clyde. Hirsch met Beatty in 1973 while working on the film set. According to the suit, she was 14 years old. Oof. And allegedly that the actor paid undue attention to her. Okay. The woman who now lives in Louisiana accused Beatty of predatory grooming. Beatty, 85. She was 36 years old. Beatty, 85, was 36 years old at the time. Hirsch claims Beatty commented repeatedly on her looks, gave her his phone number, and instructed her to call him when she was near the hotel where he was living during his time in Los Angeles. According to the lawsuit, the actor brought her along on car rides, did homework with her, and made comments about her virginity. The lawsuit claimed Beatty used his position and status as an adult, a Hollywood movie star, to coerce sexual contact with plaintiff on multiple occasions. Ooh, that's not good. Including oral sex, simulated sex, and finally coerced sexual intercourse with a minor child throughout 1973. Wow, if true, that could be really bad. But that was a long, I mean, that's 49 years ago. I don't know, man. This seems an awful long time ago. I mean, you know, like the 1980s, this was still illegal, and you would have been in your 20s. Just saying. I mean, the 90s also very illegal. The 2000s very illegal. 2010s super illegal. And now, in the 2020s. I'm not so sure why these people wait. But, okay, we'll see what happens. It's possible it's not even hit. I guess. I mean, maybe it's a different... I mean, they made a lot of Bonnie and Clyde movies. Katie Kuko, I can't say her name, praises Jennifer Aniston for sharing her infertility journey. Not so sure why, but if you're wondering why, or if these things are orchestrated, I think they are. Just, a weird thing like this. Jennifer Aniston reveals her IVF attempts, fertility struggles. I guess. Wow, she does look great in that picture, but it may be a little bit of Photoshop going on there. So it's a shame. I mean, she had some problems. She wanted to conceive, and I guess she had issues. But it's weird that another celebrity would then comment on it. But it feels like the whole thing's a little orchestrated. I don't know. Andor is what you wanted from Star Wars. So why aren't you watching? Says Screen Rant. Yeah, jerk. Andor is one of the more critically acclaimed installments of Disney's tenure, begging the question, why is its viewership and numbers are so low? Oh, could it be that the movie or the TV show is terrible? No, that can't possibly be it. it's exactly what you wanted from Star Wars. We know we made you fill out a form and answer certain questions a certain way. What the hell is this article? It's nuts. I mean, you wonder why. I don't think anybody wonders why Star Wars is in the toilet, in my view. I think it's this very reason, this attitude. Well, it's exactly what you wanted. Obviously not. No one's watching the damn show. This show is not doing well. And the whole, what little I've seen of it, it's terrible, in my view. Awful. It's like Star Wars, it's like commie Star Wars, basically. Look, I've been through the Star Wars over and over again in videos. If you haven't figured it out by now and you're still watching Star Wars, have you not seen TV before? I mean, literally almost everything is better. Black Panther Wakanda Forever box office projections significantly declined in lead up to film's release. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That don't sound good. And yet, another project that, man, every bit I see of this looks god-awful. God-awful. I can only imagine the meetings and the daily, sitting around watching the dailies from this going, are you S-ing me? See, this is why I can't work on a Hollywood production. I can't help myself. I think I told this story. I was in L.A. watching 10,000 BC with some folks in the industry, I'll say. And I was like, this movie sucks. As I often do when I'm in a movie theater and I see a terrible movie. I start going, oh my God. I start whining about it. I mean, it was that bad. If you've ever seen it, I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever paid for. Or did I pay for it? I don't know. It was one of the worst movies I ever sat in the theater for. If I could go back in time and tell myself, don't go see that movie, I'd be like, okay. It's just awful. And I'm in the theater going, oh my God, can you believe this? It's one of those. And I'm sure if I was back in my theater in New Jersey, people would have been laughing. But in L.A., no, people were horrified because my friend turns to me and goes, you ought to tone it down. There could be somebody in this theater that worked on the movie. And I was like, oh, didn't think of that. That's kind of what I think is part of the problem with big Hollywood productions in general. I mean, who on the movie is going to be like, ew, this is a terrible idea. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Really? Like, that conversation's never going to happen. It's in LA, it's like, oh, I'm going to do Wakanda Forever, and it'll be all women. Oh, it's so great. Oh, brave, stunning. Oh, and we'll have Namor in it, but we'll call him Namor. Oh, that's like Amor. That's great. That's the way they are in LA. Everyone. It's sickening. So, it kind of doesn't surprise... What surprises me is that any good movies come out of LA. I imagine that like a good movie situation is something like this. All right, everybody who's from LA and Southern California, raise your hand. Okay, out of the room. And then they, make the movie. I think Black Panther, I think it'll make money. Again, institutional momentum. People from the first movie really want the second movie to be good. But they don't follow this stuff very closely, and they're just like, it'll probably be okay. Maybe it won't be as good, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them will go see it. And it won't do too badly, but it's not going to do nearly as good as the first one. I mean, at the rate things are going, the buzz is sounding pretty horrible. Maybe it'll even bomb, but I doubt it. I doubt it'll bomb. Biological male wins Miss America and New Hampshire teen beauty pageant. I'm not sure how much I can say about this. I probably shouldn't have put this headline in there in YouTube, but I think you know how I feel about this. I have a friend who's trans, and nothing against trans people, but this seems like a situation like women's sports. Ought to be a woman thing, if you want to have Miss Trans America, that's fine. Have like a separate thing. I think that's a separate standard of beauty, perhaps, and really a trans beauty contest would be a fairer contest. So yeah, And quite frankly, teen beauty pageants are a little icky too. It's bad enough they have the ones for children. They're wacky, but the ones for teens, I ran into one of the teen beauty pageants at what show was it? I can't even remember. But she was wearing the sash. It was around Halloween. What was I doing Halloween? Oh, I guess it was the Voorhees show. And she walked past with a sash and a crown, and I was like, "Are you really Miss America or whatever she was, Miss New Jersey?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm really Miss Teen New Jersey." I'm like, "Oh, congratulations." Um, she looked dignified. I'll say. She was just wearing the sash and the crown and just walking around saying hi to people. She had flowers with her too, which I thought was a little odd. Um, Percy Jackson and the Olympians Disney Plus series cast Hamilton actor creator Lin-Manuel Miranda as race-swapped Hermes. I don't know what he's race-swapped, so he's not Greek. I don't even know what he is. He's fair-skinned. He could pass as a Greek, I think. That's the whole point. Again, it's not about the race. It's about what you can pass on, what you can do, right? There are actors and actresses, they want to play a range. They want to, look as young as possible so they can still play like teenagers. And then sometimes they want to look older for other roles. It's the same thing with race, Guy like him, he could play a lot of different roles. He could play Italian. He's got dark hair. He's got a slightly darker complexion. I could totally see him playing a Greek guy. I guess he's Latino. Yeah, he's like right in the middle there. He's light enough to play lighter roles and dark enough he could probably just tan up a little bit. Boom, he can play Latino roles. That's a good thing for an actor to do. It gives you a range that's just in your looks. So yeah, I got no problem with that. That's not the problem. That's not the problem at all. The problem is when you cast someone who doesn't look anything like the character, and it's either historical or very well established in the comic or book or whatever. That's when it becomes weird. That's when it's like now you're casting completely against the type for no other reason other to get virtue points. Then we have an issue. Moving on. British dad of 4 live streams suicide on Facebook as distraught friends watch. Holy F. And this is one of the things that Facebook should be working on, if you ask me. Now, I don't know what they could do other than maybe, I don't know, monitor the live feed, and when they see somebody doing like this, cut the feed. But then again, according to this article, he was a bit of a prankster, so maybe they thought it was a joke until it was too late. He had some issues, but it's amazing that stuff like this seems to get through on various social media platforms. Oh, but if you look sideways at the wrong group of persons, I'll say, you gotta be careful on YouTube. Boom! They come down on you like a bag of hammers. How is that? How are they able to do that on certain things, but not on something like this? I think the EMT had to turn off the live feed. Canada's Deputy Prime Minister apologizes, recognizes her privilege after relating average citizens' economic struggles to her family's cancellation of Disney Plus. Yeah, that's pretty dopey. Doesn't surprise me at all. I'm not sure why they're showing stills from that cartoon Red, but there you have it. It is kind of wacky, but then you Canucks have a wacky government right now. Crash director Paul Haggis is a monster, a psychopath. I'm not sure I can say this word on YouTube. Bad touch accusers? No, that's probably the wrong word. Sexual assault accusers. Lawyer says as case closes. Yeah, again, I'm tend to lead towards the idea that Scientology may have cooked something up for him, but it may be totally true. I don't know. I don't have the info. Just my opinion. We'll see how the court case goes. Patricia Arquette and Rosanna Arquette are the latest leftist Hollywood celebrities to leave Twitter following Elon Musk's takeover. Oh no! What will I do without the Arquette sisters in my feed? Probably just go on and continue to promote my books and never even miss them. Um, let's make sure when some of these celebrities come back to Twitter, let's make sure we give them a big old welcome. Oh, I thought you were leaving. That's so weird. You're here. Oh. Speaking of leaving Twitter, Alan Richson, and I was surprised. He plays Reacher. Quits Twitter, provides bogus reasons for leaving, including conspiracy theory that Elon Musk is manipulating the midterms. Bizarre, dude. You kind of just put me at arm's length. I was totally embracing your show and your career, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. And now this, what? He's not manipulating the midterms. He put out an endorsement, but at least he was upfront and honest about it. He wasn't like pretending to be, some platform that didn't have a bias, unlike every other platform on the internet. Sean Penn, and I saw this video, loaning Zelensky his Oscar is Hollywood at its most tone deaf. That nothing, no more truer headline I've seen. I mean, what is this? What are you doing, Sean? Why are you giving Zelensky your Oscar or loaning him the Oscar? What for? What? For what? It doesn't make any sense. What would you? I mean, this is the biggest virtue signal out of Hollywood ever. And I get it. He went to Ukraine. He did a documentary, and I'll give him some credit for like doing more than the average celebrity. He at least seems to put skin in the game by showing up to these crazy places. He went to Haiti. It's not a safe place. Went to the Ukraine. Not a safe place. I mean, yeah, he might have bodyguards or whatever. They want to get you. They'll get you. And Sean Penn's always been a little nutty, in my view, in terms of taking risks. So, he had some thing going on with El Chapo for a while. The guys, I give him credit. He's got a little bit of guts. But I think his politics are completely whacked out. Or he just doesn't understand what he's promoting here, what he's pushing. This isn't something you should be taking celebrity pictures with. And win or lose, I think the stuff that will come out about Zelensky and his government in the years to come is not going to do well for your legacy there, Sean. So I think you made a huge optics error here. I think everybody has who's getting involved with the Ukraine. I don't think we should be involved. This is not our fight. That being said, I don't think the Ukrainians deserve what's happening to them at all, but understand that the entire war was completely avoidable by both sides, and that people in our government are perfectly happy that it's going on now, unfortunately. So I don't know what he's trying to do here. What celebrities used to do when they would get involved like this is they would go there and press for peace. They would travel to a place. They would have in the past gone to Russia and said, "Oh, please, let's stop this war. Let's have peace talks and blah blah blah." Is he doing that here? No, I don't think so. Cabinet of Curiosity exposes the problem of adapting Lovecraft. This is Screen Rant. Cabinet of Curiosity adapts 2 of Lovecraft's stories, both of which prove how difficult it is to make his tales work in live action. Yeah, they are tough to make work because they are more feeling than anything else. And he was a horror guy, and I've adapted Lovecraft. I did a radio adaptation of Lovecraft. It's kind of hard to process sometimes. But like Screen Rant here seems to be going out of their way to talk about it just so they could say, in life, Lovecraft was something of a misanthrope who expressed racist and anti-Semitic views in much of his writing, while women rarely played a prominent role. Thank you, Screen Rant. We already know that. And no one cares. No one cares. His work speaks for itself. And to some extent, you can separate the work from the man. And he was a man of his time. It wasn't like he was the, H.P. Lovecraft, he was the only racist in the 1920s. Didn't you know? He started racism, invented it. No. So, calm your tease, I'd say, Screen Rant. Morning Joe might get massive change. Oh, I would love to see this massive change. Cancellation of Morning Joe. It's another show I could do without. Probably not quite as bad as The View, but pretty bad, I think. What happened to that red wave? The midterms will all make sense in hindsight, according to The Wrap, the movie website. I mean, if I wanted to make sense of the red wave, I don't think I'd go to The Wrap. I think we helped that one. Joy Behar suggests The View pushed Fetterman over the line. Oh, you should be very proud, because we all know Fetterman's kind of special now. I mean, Jesus, why would you brag about that? I think you made a huge mistake here. It's kind of a lose-lose situation with Fetterman. Either he stays in, continuing to be probably incomprehensible every time he speaks, or he's replaced. In which case, why did you bother? You pushed a guy forward who wasn't medically able to do the job. It's insane. Oh, but don't worry, you got that D. Oh, that's the important thing, everybody, not John Fetterman's health. Breaking, Project Veritas reveals keys left unattended on Philadelphia Dropbox. Wow, these cheaters are getting sloppy, aren't they? That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. We all know it was the most fair and unsullied election of all time. Interesting. James Lilino, PVA journalist. I haven't touched them. I wouldn't know. So I guess he called it to someone's attention and videotaped the whole thing. I'll have to watch this video. Looks, once again, Project Veritas. Checking in. Howard Stern blasts Carrie Lake and nutjob supporters. This country's getting more and more effed up. Yeah, I mean, again, Howard, I wish you'd just retire at this point, because I think the days of Howard relating to the working man are way behind him. You know, and keep in mind, back in the day, Howard was the guy who was Republican. He was the guy who would talk about crime in the city, how terrible it was, how something should be done, and he was the guy to do it. And now, I mean, seems like all he does is push the establishment 24/7. Sad to watch, really. But, I mean, I guess this is where he's at in his career, so I don't know. How many hundreds of millions of dollars do you need before you just go, you know what? I'll just sit at home and watch TV. I got tons of money. Exclusive, Tucker Carlson to give keynote address at Freedom Caucus. New member orientation. Well, that should be interesting. Tucker is kind of a player in the world of GOP politics, I think. You know, he's got kind of a good rep. You know, the Democrats always go after him, but that's only enhanced his rep. And yeah, he's a bit establishment. He is at Fox, but you know, a lot of people say he'll be out of there one day, and then what? You know, so far, and yeah, is he gonna at some point reach his limit? I'm sure he will, or he'll be out of Fox doing his podcast, and I don't know, end up at OAN or something. This is the most hilarious thing to come out of SNL in a long time. SNL staff writers boycott over Dave Chappelle's hosting gig. Okay, so first off, hooray. So I'm hoping Chappelle brings in his own writers, and then the show will actually be amazing. Because if Chappelle writes it, I mean, sign me up. I'll watch this episode. But, you know, the staff writers are going to boycott? Oh, boo-hoo. Gee, who will write a terrible sketch about, a family of hot dogs? Oh, no. Who will write the next terrible sketch about Carrie Lake and Trump and all the Republicans, calling them bad people or making them look stupid and making Biden look like a great guy? I mean, gee, how could Dave do a funny show without them? You know my feelings on SNL. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. I mean, maybe Dave will just... I don't know why Dave's doing the show, quite frankly, but we'll see. New Danny Masters accuser testimony echoes previous stories of staring, aggressive commands, and pounding something. Sexual assault. Not good. Not good. Again, Scientology coming from the other way, because I think Masterson is still a, practicing Scientologist. Lisa Marie Presley nixed as prosecution witness as Danny Masters' trial after Scientology questions restricted. Presley probably would have taken the fifth anyway. I didn't even know she was involved in this. That's interesting. Weird. Scientology in 2 different court dramas about sexual assault. Indiana Jones series coming to Disney Plus. Disney and Lucasfilms want to continue the franchise with a series, more movies, or both. And you might ask how. Well, the rumor is they did a test screening with Indiana Jones, the 5, Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie. And Doomcock, Victor Van Doomcock, Lord, was a DVD overlord, has a great video on the subject with some inside rumors about the movie. And I think they're talking about this very same video. Yeah, Overlord DVD. And basically there were 5 screenings, 5 different endings, and they all tested terrible. Because they all end with that woman from the show Fleabag becoming the new Indiana Jones. If you can imagine any audience on the planet going, "Yay, no more Indy, it's a woman now." I guess you could screen the planet and try to find, 500 feminists to jam into the theater who might clap for that, but even then, I think half of them would be like, "Oh, it's not super handsome Harrison Ford." I mean, what did you think would happen? This has Kathleen Kennedy's fingerprints all over it, by the way, according to Doomcock. And so that they're planning a Disney Plus series and movies? I wonder who's going to be Indy, because it's definitely not going to be Harrison Ford. So guess what? I think they're planning this movie. Their plan was, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but they've invested a ton of money in this. So the plan was to put out Indiana 5 and then relaunch, Indiana Jones with a woman. Like everybody would just go, "Oh, it's a woman now. Hooray. And now I'm going to watch it on Disney Plus." Duh. Who would want this? And there was an Indiana Jones TV series already. It did okay. It was all right. I mean, again, you have to understand the origins of Indiana Jones. When it first came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. This harkens back to an earlier era of pulp heroes." And that's what Indy was. They had sort of skimmed over the pulp action heroes like Doc Savage and The Shadow and all these other characters from the past. If you've ever seen, do a Google search of pulp fiction action heroes, and you'll see characters like this, right? And they basically, in the 80s, launched this to pay homage to that. And it was successful because, and that's what was Star Wars, by the way, same thing, Flash Gordon, boom. And people liked it. Why did they like it? Because it's about adventure. Like, the character was almost superfluous. You could have launched, a series of this. You could have, instead of calling it Indiana Jones and the blah, 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 you could have called it, something like Adventure Crusade with Indiana Jones, right? And the first one could have been all Indiana Jones. And then you could have done a completely different character, Adventure Crusade, with so-and-so. If they had launched it like that, instead of putting it on one particular character, you might have had a franchise here that could go in different directions. But that's also a risk. You might have launched a different character with a completely different story, and people could have gone, meh, I wanted to see Harrison Ford, and this isn't Harrison Ford. But at this stage of the game, after 5 movies, you're going to switch over to this woman? You could have switched to Shia LaBeouf. Still, that would have been better than switching to a totally some rando woman who's not even related to Indy. Be different, at least, if you tried to pitch it as his daughter or granddaughter or whatever in the modern times. Then you might have had something. Then there'd be this legacy. And Harrison Ford could show up from time to time as, Grandpa Indy and say hi. Maybe we could see a flashback to the, or great grandpa. I mean, it's pretty far back in time at this point. But this, to erase one of the versions of the screening, by the way, is Indiana Jones erased from time. Erased from time and replaced by this one. You'd have been better off just recasting the character or rebooting the entire series, which would have gotten flack too from me and everybody else, but you would have been in a slightly better position. This? We're destroying Indiana Jones. And now we want you to watch the new Indiana Jones because she's better. She's better. Is she? I don't think so. I haven't seen it, but probably not going to, because who the hell even wants to see Indiana Jones 5? I mean, even before this buzz, did you see Indiana Jones 4? That was a bit of a problem. A pass. A hard pass. Black Panther 2 Rotten Tomatoes score dropping with negative reviews. The movie hasn't even been out yet, has it? Is the movie out? The movie doesn't appear to be as good as the first one, according to the critics. According to the critics, they were the only people he had on their side. 94% fresh rating for the first movie, 85% with 152 reviews. That's not too good. Ant-Man and the Wasp did better than that. Infinity War tied it at 85, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was pretty terrible in my view, 85. Oof. I mean, it's not a negative review, but you have to take these, you have to use a different scale here. It's like Amazon reviews, right? Very few, only really pissed off people give like an Amazon review of like half a star or a star. I mean, you have to I ordered this light bulb and it exploded in my face and shot jagged glass into my eyes. That's a half a star from me, bro. But normally, like a low score and, like a normal low score on Amazon, this bread wasn't very good. 3. That's sort of the bottom. It's like actually 3 to 5 for most things. Almost nobody gives it 2. So like when you're talking about a movie, and you're talking about a Marvel movie where everything's skewed in the Marvel's favor, in my view, on Rotten Tomatoes, come on. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. They give Rotten. Drag Me to Hell. I'll never get off of this. Drag Me to Hell was over 95%. I remember that initially. I think it was 98. That did not. And I love Sam Raimi, but it did not deserve that at all. Maybe a 72. Maybe. I mean, it wasn't the worst movie, but my God. Come on. This? You're talking 85? This is probably, I'm going to guess, ballparking it, this is at best a 50-50 movie. At best. At best. But I haven't seen it. I probably won't see it. Henry Cavill reveals he held on to Superman role very gently during his hiatus from Warner Brothers and DC. I don't know whether I would have had the opportunity to play it again. Oh, Superman, I love you. Okay. I mean, look, he looks like Superman. He's a good-looking Superman. I wish they'd give him a good role. He seems like a good actor now, but I got to say, him as Superman, I don't like him. I don't like him. Everything I've seen of him is just boring. But again, that's not on him. I think it's on the scripts and the directors to some degree. Brittany Griner sent to a Russian penal colony to serve 9-year sentence. Rough. That is not going to be an easy sentence. In a Russian prison on a penal colony. Oof. Now, I'm pretty sure the Russians are going to make sure she survives. But beyond that, yeah, I mean, she definitely, I mean, if she died, I think that would be an international incident the Russians wouldn't want. But still not going to be a picnic. And 9 years, oof, rough. Real rough. She's getting out when we get peace with Russia again, which is another reason we ought to, like, you know, wrap up the whole Ukraine thing, in my view. Cartoon Network merging operation with Warner Brothers Animation as part of strategic realignment. What's going to happen with Adult Swim is the question. I guess that's all in with Cartoon Network, so it's going to be interesting to see where the Cartoon Network characters lie. If you know, Warner Brothers Discovery starts going through those trademarks, like, oh, what movies can we make? I did enjoy Aqua Teen Hunger Force, every little bit of it, thank you. Tori Wilson refused WWE pitch to paint her boobs. Okay. Not sure why. Seems like you pretty much got a little more than painted boobs here in that picture on FHM. But she's still looking pretty hot. Pretty hot. Yeah, that's her today, I assume, on the left there. Looking good. Former DC writer Chuck Dixon explains how being blacklisted from mainstream media affects his friendship. Kind of interesting article. If you want to see. You know, Chuck is a conservative, and he makes no apologies for that. Yeah, kind of hurt his career, I think. But, I mean, I always called him the what's the name? The Tom Clancy of the comic book world. Skyfall writers on how they came up with the movie's last-minute title and the explosive finale. Finale. What other movies can you tell me about that I hate? Tell me all about how you came up with the ending to Blues Brothers 2000. Oh, I can't wait. What an article. What are you doing? I mean, Skyfall. Skyfall is not great. I mean, you might as well just talk about Quantum of Solace. That'd be an article I'd actually read. Why Quantum of Solace? Why the Hindenburg Hotel at the end, which the walls full of not helium, hydrogen. Oh no, a car's backed into the hotel. Kaboom! The entire hotel is exploding. Another terrible Bond movie in my view. Don't get me started on Bond. Tragic Kingdom, Disney shares plummet to lowest level in nearly a decade as concerns mount over profitability. Ooh, no. Too bad, so sad. Get woke, go broke, Bob Chapek. CNBC's Kramer, no doubt Disney CEO Bob Chapek has to go. What about you, Kramer? How are you still even on TV? How are you still making pronouncements? I don't get it. How many times does this guy have to be wrong before he's replaced by someone who, you know, I mean, I think a guy flipping a coin would be more accurate at this point than Jim Kramer. But okay, broken clock and all. Nolte, groomers at Disney Co. watch stock price hit 8-year low. I have no idea why. You mean a family company, a company that built itself on family entertainment for literally decades, suddenly embracing I don't even know what you call it, groomer culture, is having trouble? Ooh. When people won't go to your parks or watch your TV shows? Yeah, I guess so. I'm pretty sure the woke stuff is toxic, Bob. There were rumors you were going to abandon it all and fire everybody, but apparently you doubled down the other way. Good luck. VH1 breaks from MTV and joins BET Media Group and CEO Bob Bakish, latest Paramount shuffle? Shocking. I didn't even know VH1 was still a thing. Hypocrisy replacing one anti-Semite for another. Balenciaga, Adidas blasted for partnering with Hadid after dropping Kanye. I think she was the model who made some noise about the Palestinians. Yeah, that seems odd. if true, but I mean, I you know, I'm not a huge fan of designer clothes anyway, so I mean, do whatever you want, I guess, but seems odd. Harvestella producer justifies inclusion of non-binary options in character creator using gender-neutral pronouns takes a relatively small amount of effort. Yes, it does. As does not buying your game. Hail Mary Jane. Hollywood celebrities ignoring crushing crimes beg New York potheads to vote Kathy Hochul. Okay, if you guys want to live in New York right now, good luck to you. I remember what's his face, Michael Rappaport, and socked in the face with a snowball after I think he did a little podcast about like his local drugstore closing because the neighborhood had gotten so bad. Yeah, ironic, huh? When are you guys doing a podcast about, oh, it's terrible, the crime now, so many homeless people, I don't understand why. Well, this is so terrible. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, if only somebody could do something. Oh, would you vote for a Republican that was law and order? Oh, no, defund the police. Well, enjoy. Jason Momoa teases secret dream DC Project Lobo. Could Momoa's DC plans involve James Gunn teasing Lobo? Now, this is a character Momoa would be perfect for, but he's already playing Aquaman. So how are they going to do this? They're going to play him Aquaman and Lobo? That'd be weird. Would have been perfect. He would have been a perfect Lobo. Quite frankly, here's what you could have done instead of Aquaman. You could have done a Lobo movie and put him in the Justice League. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Comic fans are like, what? That's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. If you're a comic geek and you know the origin of Lobo. But the movie origins are different. You could have set Lobo up as a different kind of character. Not quite the genocidal maniac that he is in the comics, let's say. That he's basically a biker in space, but he's a biker with a heart of gold. Justified. You know, he helps his little space dolphins and maybe he helps some other people. I mean, you make him a good guy. And you rewrite him a bit. And then he's in the Justice League, and you can justify it. You could make it work. Making him Aquaman and Lobo? That could be fun, I guess. It'd be especially fun if you had Aquaman versus Lobo. Ian McShane joining Ana de Armas in John Wick spinoff Ballerina. I'm not sure. Ana de Armas is fine looking. Not so sure I want to see another John Wick spinoff. I haven't even caught up to the John Wicks that are out there. Franchising is getting a little bit out of control. I'm going to say now that this is too much. HBO Max live-action Green Lantern series loses head writer Seth Grahame-Smith, shifts focus to Jon Stewart. I think this is a smart move. Jon Stewart, you know, they kind of already ruined Hal Jordan. Jon Stewart was sort of the second guy on the totem pole. You could argue it's also Guy Gardner, but they're kind of both equal in terms of their... I mean, Guy Gardner had his day, but he had his day too. Guy Gardner's just not going to fly in Hollywood right now. But you could throw him into a series like this. I don't know. I mean, the Green Lantern thing's been effed up, in my view. It really should be Hal, but they've screwed it up. And now, I don't know, they're doing this. It's just, at this point, it's just another IP. Oh, we got this IP. Hey, he's a black guy. Oh, okay. That's what I figure. Mike Barron and Steve Rude's Nexus to become scripted podcast. Interesting. I guess this could be good. I don't know. I'm not really a radio guy, but I guess it's going to be with artwork, so could be fun. New rumor claims Prime Video to completely reboot Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, after creatively bankrupt first season. Love the headline. Bounding into comics. I don't know. I don't think that's true. Look, at this point, is a reboot going to help them? I mean, what could help them is to completely abandon this storyline and just start another part of the index that they licensed and go with completely different characters, and then maybe at some point bring in Galadriel as hundreds of years later, and she's got a different attitude, and then maybe could rework her character somehow. But I don't know, man. This was kind of the ground floor for the Lord of the Rings, and you kind of screwed it up. So I don't think there's any coming back from this. And I don't think there's, even if you did. So let's say they hired all the best people to do this show, and it's just the greatest show ever. I mean, that's a whole, I don't think even the best creative, I don't even know who you could hire at this point to fix this. And you would have to give them carte blanche to really go nuts here and really get out of the woke stuff. I don't think there's that much of a push for that. I think they definitely want to go in a new direction, but I'm completely confident the woke stuff will be in it again. Oh, it wasn't that. No. We have to be inclusive. Well, of course we have to be inclusive. Well, they're just not that inclusive. Well, it'll be a little more subtle about it. Yeah. This time it'll work. So yeah, I don't. Unless they're going to change the executives and fire everybody who's woke, it's just going to be woke again. I think it's just going to be woke in a slightly different way. Maybe it won't be as woke, but once bitten, twice shy. Amazon. Maybe at this point, just use it as a tax write-off. Tom Holland rumored to cameo in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Well, that'll be fun. I could totally see him doing that. It'd be funny to just see him in a live-action thing, interacting with the cartoon characters somehow. Maybe they look through a portal and see him like, hey, guys. Spirited Review, Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds turn A Christmas Carol into a boisterous bro musical. I don't know, man. I don't know. For me, it's Scrooged. I love Scrooged with Bill Murray. A musical? I don't know. Maybe. They are both funny. Maybe. Would I give it a chance? I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't pay for this, but somebody kept raving about it and telling me about it. Maybe I'd watch it. William Shatner endorses Jonah Hex series pitch to James Gunn. Oh, that's kind of weird. Star Trek's William Shatner shares and endorses Jonathan, can't say that guy's last name, Reeson's pitch to, did his face get messed up because he pronounced his own last name? Recent pitch to DC Studios had James Gunn about a Jonah Hex spin-off series. I mean, it could be good. I mean, Jonah Hex is a cool character. I don't know if they'll play him right, but I mean, I guess he's from the Arrowverse. Haven't seen him. He looks good in the makeup. I mean, the makeup's spot on. That is the Scar. Bill Maher. It shouldn't take days. I don't know how this tab got all the way over here, but it shouldn't take days for us to get election results. We're getting beaten by Brazil. Yes, my old boss is correct. Oh, he was on the Jimmy Kimmel show talking that way? Interesting. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And finally, how did I get that? I messed up my tabs again. Bihar, Dems lousy at messaging. Midterms should have been a blue tsunami. Well, at least we ended on a hilarious headline. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan somewhere in the house. Check me out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes, assuming this doesn't get flagged by YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you